Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we're looking at Bill Sienkiewicz's Mutants and Moon Knights and Assassins. Oh my! So I'm really excited about this. This is the Artisan edition of the Artist Edition. It's a smaller version of the larger Artist Edition that came out from IDW. It is so cool. I love this format. Cannot wait to share it with you guys. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button and let's get right into it. I'm a huge Bill Sienkiewicz fan. And full disclosure, I did review the larger format Artist Edition when it did come out. This is like a smaller, more affordable, more accessible version of that. I think that's a great idea. You know, the Artist Editions run around $125 to $150 depending on the size of it. I think the Sienkiewicz one was $150. This one is a smaller version, but it's still larger than the actual printed comic book. So it is, you know, a better glimpse at the art. And it way more affordable at $40. And plus, I got it at In Stock Trades for like, gosh, like super cheap. Like, I paid like, I think 20 something. I don't know, whatever. It was cheap. Anyway, look at how gorgeous this cover is. I mean, Electra Assassin is one of Bill Sienkiewicz's biggest triumphs. He was experimenting his ass off. Special shout out to Scott Dunbier. I love these artist editions. I would collect every single one of them if I could, but they do come with a lofty price tag. I do have quite a few. Of course, John Byrne, Bill Sienkiewicz. The most exciting one coming out, I don't know, hopefully next year, is Paul Smith's run on the X-Men. I've been waiting for that one since day one, and I'm so excited. That is like going to be like major for me. Anyway, look how gorgeous it is. If you're unfamiliar with the artist editions, they scan the original art. Scott Dunbier, the editor and creator of this whole line, painstakingly like curates art through donations from private collections. Goes around the country with a big ass scanner scanning art. Daredevil, from his painted Daredevil graphic novel, some New Mutants, and then so this is the closest you'll ever get to holding the original art in your hands. Like when it's not just black and white, they scan the original art, so you're getting coffee stains, you know, I don't know, whatever else, you know, thumbprints, things like that, pencil marks. It was so controversial when Bill Sienkiewicz took over. What a journey this artist has had. You know, he started out as a Neil Adams clone, self-admittedly, and then just really just like pushed himself artistically and grew and beyond anyone's wildest imagination. You know, at first a lot of people hated it because it was so different, especially coming in on the New Mutants, following an artist like Sal Buscema, who's very like traditional Marvel house style, and then suddenly you have this crazy artist from Moon Knight doing all this wild shit on Moon Knight, coming onto the New Mutants, don't call them X-Babies anymore, and doing this wild horror story with the Demon Bear saga. And I was living for it since day one. I mean, admittedly, it's shocking, right? But so good. I feel like people have really come around to. I love the random appearance from Hitchcock. I wonder who this is. That has to be somebody. I'm probably stupid for not recognizing the face, but I don't know. Help me out in the comments, fellas and fellettes. This has always been a favorite page of mine. There's just so much going on with Sienkiewicz. You know what I mean? He just like loves like he will throw anything on a page, you know, and I love his use of Zipatone here. I mean, some of his painted work is like super, like just beyond. The use of negative space here is just sublime. Chris Claremont, writer, Bill Sienkiewicz, the artist, Tom Orzechowski, letterer. Glynis Wine did a fantastic job coloring Bill Sienkiewicz on this at the time, because, you know, coloring was so rudimentary, and she just really made it work in the best way possible. So much fun. Like, he just really hit the ground running. Like, you know, this, like, when Ilyana started getting, like, her armor from Limbo appearing randomly and things like that. Just touches like that, to give props to, you know, Chris Claremont's writing, are always what made it so, like, real and fun to me and just, like, extra interesting. You know what I mean? I feel like Sienkiewicz will always be tied to the New Mutants. He just is like one of my favorite versions of the New Mutants, 100%. Like, actually is. Although I do love Art Adams' New Mutants too. Don't we need an Art Adams Artist Edition? Particularly like the X-Men stuff, like New Mutants Special Edition, X-Men Annuals. I mean, yes, we need that for sure. Let's see. I think there are some real people in this. I know for a fact that I believe that that is Louise Simonson, famous writer and ex-editor. What a fun double page spread. You know, I love double page spreads, and this goes to prove that it doesn't have to be like, you know, a Jack Kirby space scene or something of that magnitude to still look cool. You know what I mean? I just love the artistry of all of this. Um, I don't know. It's just so moody and just so great. I mean, Warlock, right? I mean, very few people can draw Warlock as well as Bill Sienkiewicz. And of course, Art Adams being probably the number one Warlock artist after Bill Sienkiewicz, in my opinion. Mind you, what do I know, right? So good though. So much fun. I just can't even imagine like how much fun. You know, basically the story goes, Chris Claremont had to basically trick Bill Sienkiewicz into drawing the New Mutants. Didn't he originally wanted him on the X-Men, and Bill was like, no, I'm not going to ruin Marvel's number one book. And then he said, well, how about the New Mutants? And he said, okay, I'll ruin that instead. Just kidding. He did say, he tricked him. He was like, I have this short horror story in the New Mutants. And Bill couldn't resist. The rest is history. I love this here. It's funny because, you know, this goes to show, like, the timelessness or the timeliness of, like, Saji from Secret Wars 2 is in here. Like, you know what I mean? Like, since you're forced to cross over with those events and stuff, little blips of those stories are going to remain throughout in history. Another fantastic double page spread that is, like, so mundane. This looks like it could be, you know, like the photo shoot for an interview at Vanity Fair or something, but I don't know why. I just love it. But, like, the negative space, the curtains, just the style choices and the spotting of blacks and the things he does is just so amazing. Also love like seeing characters like Cloak and Dagger show up and have them drawn in this great, you know, Bill Sienkiewicz style is so much fun. David Legion, another character that no one else can draw quite like Sienkiewicz for sure. What a fun Madrox. See, it's like you still see like the underlying Neil Adams influence in a lot of like sort of, I don't know, just like the scratchiness of the finishing and I don't know, just some of the faces and stuff are a little reminiscent of old Neil, eh? I love this here too. Like, I thought this was fun. I thought no one else was doing it. And this is something I often talk about when I do my reviews. How much, I feel like a lot of comics in recent years have tried to be like very cinematic, very realistic, very like it could be a movie. And I there's room for that. There's room for any type of comic, but this is the kind of comic I love. The comic that allows itself to utilize the tricks of the trade and the tropes of comic and the things that you cannot do in other mediums. You know, just like these little hearts and stuff. This is Empath from the New Mutants. Oh, I don't know why, but I've always loved this character too, and he's so minimally used, but it's like you gotta love a guy that's gonna try to pull one over on the White Queen as her student, right? I mean, I think he's exactly where he belongs. So this has always stood out as a great page. I was always blown away by this brick. I feel like this must be some sort of zipatone or overlay or something. I can imagine Bill drawing all those little bricks, but he might have. But he's just so known for, you know, like using different textures and screens and zips and just like throwing a bunch of shit on the page, whether it be circuit board or lace or whatever the hell he wants to put on it. Xavier. Is it Xavier or Xavier? I'm sure it's Xavier, but whatever. Magneto. I think that one's like for officially Magneto. That looks like his dick is just hanging out of his pants right there. I realize it's not, but is it? Never noticed that one before. The see what these artist editions can reveal. And this is sublime. Like, they're in a I mean, come on. Like, why are the New Mutants suddenly, like, in a gladiator, like, situation? Like, aside from the fact that we get this amazing splash page from Bill Sienkiewicz, that cool-ass empath pinup that I love that they used for the end papers. The design work here is so good, too. They always win awards. They always deserve them. They're always amazing and fantastic. Oh, the sun. Curse the light. Here's a little flip back just in case I was looking at the book and not the sun. Anyway. I mean, and then these gorgeous painted covers. It's weird that it was such a struggle for him to paint comic books. Like in Electra Assassin, he started doing painting, and they didn't even have a page rate for painted comics at the time. So he took the colorist rate and did like all this amazing work for like so much less money. But I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. There might be a lecture in the back, and we'll talk about that in a minute. I love seeing these. Like, look how bright and vivid these colors are. It is just so beautiful. I can't imagine being Ann Nesenti in the X office and having this artwork come in and being like just brought to my knees every single month by how gorgeous it is. So cool too. I know it's probably wrong in a mug, but I love Bill Sienkiewicz's Karma. Like, it is such a great design in my opinion. Moon Knight, of course. That is where he starts to spread his wings. You know, he drew an issue of X-Men, like 159 in the annual 6. I wonder if any of that's in here. It better be, because that was my introduction to Bill Sienkiewicz. Like, I feel like it was the X-Men annual 6 with the Storm Dracula, and that, I thought she looked like, that was the most beautiful depiction of Storm I had seen at that point. But I believe that was before I discovered John Burns. Not sure. Because I do love John Burns. Storm best of all. See, very Neil Adams there, right, guys? Even though you start seeing him push and grow and move outside of that, like, it's there for sure. But I think it works so well for him. You know, John Byrne had a lot of Neil Adams in his earlier work, if you look at it. And it's funny because I feel like John Byrne is so known for his, like, super polished art, mostly because he's had, like, really polished inkers over the years, specifically Terry Austin. And his pencils are sketchier than you would think. How sketchy. Love this zip here. Like, isn't that great? I just get lost in, like, the texture of inks is so beautiful. Here's a gorgeous, gorgeous 2-page spread. Like, that is so amazing. The fluidity and the motion of Moon Knight there is just beyond. And I don't know, like, it's surreal in a way, but it's so gritty and urban and just, like, beautiful. I mean, like, everything about it is just so good. It's like, I mean, I've seen a lot of videos about Sienkiewicz talking about his process and things like that, and just, like, I would just love to see in his brain just for a second, though. Like, what does it look like? You know, some artists, annoyingly, like Alex Ross, says his paintings always turn out exactly how they pictured them in his head. And they're perfect. Well, how nice for you. That's a cool cover. Oh my god, I love it. And a pinball machine. But see, that's like comic book, like, brilliance right there, right? I mean, such a trope, such a classic. I don't know, it seems a little Silver Age-y, I guess. Another, like, sublime cover of Moon Knight. I mean, so beautiful. Just, once again, the interesting choices. If you are aware of the influences of Bill Sienkiewicz, Bob Peak is the only one I can think of, but he has a lot of great influences. And once you look them up or seek them out, you can just see like it all makes sense. It all comes together. Here we go to Electra. So after he did this painted Electra, which is just like I said, sublime. I mean, he's painting acrylic, airbrush. Love that. That is so fun. That is so Sienkiewicz right there. But then DC wants him to do the shadow, and he's like all for it, except for the fact that he wants to paint it, and they want pen and ink work. So I loved his shadow, but it was frustrating and unfulfilling for him as an artist. So that's disappointing, but I think the art is sublime nonetheless. Like, we are just all over the place with different styles, influences, and just nuttiness here. I can't even imagine the amount of energy crackling between Frank Miller and Bill Sienkiewicz on this Electra Assassin. I mean, it clearly just is a timeless, beautiful piece of art that could easily sit in the Louvre or any famous museum. I was thinking about that too recently. Like, comics is such a fuck over. I mean, this is just one page. This is one page. Like, some artists would be hard pressed to even come up with like that many brilliant images in an entire lifetime. And comic book artists just, wow, you know what I mean? They have to continuously spew out endless images, and very powerful page here that looks intense, eh? I mean, it is just so beautiful. How could you not? Wait, I have one friend. I won't embarrass him by naming him, but that does not like Bill Sienkiewicz. And, like, I just don't understand it. I almost ended the friendship right there. But, I mean, that would be petty, wouldn't it? So good. Like, I don't know. I feel like every once in a while, like, we did get, like, a new Claremont Sienkiewicz, New Mutants a couple years ago, but I want more. I don't know. What do I want? I want a big, grand Bill Sienkiewicz book. You know, I still, like, feel like he's working a lot. What is that book? He has a book with Kelly Sue DeConnick coming out. I forget what it's called. Lavender something, maybe. I don't know. But looking forward to anything he does. Make that come out now. So brilliant. So beautiful. Such an amazing artist. Really changed the way I thought art could be done. You know what I mean? I'm sure he did that for many people. It's funny, you know, as a youth, discovering new artists, I always want to copy their styles. And I think my Sienkiewicz phase was probably one of the most short-lived ones, because you have to really commit to that kind of obscure weirdness if you're gonna make that your style. Do you know what I mean? Every once in a while, a little glimpse comes through, but I love this cover. That is so great. Barbie, Eat Your Heart Out. Another beautiful cover. I mean, and retroactively, you can see so many artists being influenced by Sienkiewicz over the years. Jay Lee, Simon Bisley, I don't know, just, what's his name? You know, Ashley Wood. That's the one I was thinking of. I always loved this. Like, this is like pure Sienkiewicz here, using this, like, print or whatever for the big, crazy Kingpin. I mean, in this, The Man Without Fear graphic novel. Or is this, yeah, maybe, perhaps. So good. Like, that was, like, Bill Sienkiewicz is just like a rock star. Nothing from that X-Men 159 or Annual 6. For shame, for shame. Love this. Oh my gosh, all of his beautiful Dazzler covers. I mean, another artist or a character that I feel he'll always be tied with. And where's the Iron Fist companion to that? That's such a bummer that that's not in here. That's pretty cool, Wolfsbane. And then that end paper and that and that. So brilliant, so beautiful. Do not hesitate to buy this, y'all. But Bill Sienkiewicz art books like this always notoriously sell out and have a resale value that is usually through the roof. So you don't want to sit on it. You want to get it. It's so good, as I just showed you. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that like button, and I will bring you more soon.